I did a video recently in honor of mothers and those who raise children and give birth to children and or adopt children and foster children and look after children, mothers and grandmothers and those who are not mothers in the sense of having their own children but have a mothering heart and want to bless and serve the children that are around them, and I'm so grateful for them. Today I want to talk briefly about wives, in honor of wives. Wives, to my mind, hold a very special and privileged position in the Lord's plan. A wife, as a female who comes to the altar of the Lord and is willing to devote her time and her energies and her efforts and her love and her resources to her husband, is willing to love him and to serve him, is willing to love and serve God primarily, and is willing to serve her husband and is willing to serve their children, is willing to serve her brothers and sisters and other people that she comes in contact with. Wives are in a position of great honor before the Lord. The Lord loves those who seek to make covenant, who seek to make promise, who are true and faithful, and who want to be married and yoked in the covenant of marriage to a righteous, worthy man. Women who love to serve in the house of the Lord, who stand beside their husbands in all times of trial, of tribulation, of times of lack of resources, times of illness, times of hardship, and give their husbands support and encouragement and sustenance. And in so many ways the gospel reveals to us how indispensable it is that a man and a woman are before the Lord together. Neither is the man without the woman, nor the woman without the man in the Lord, as Paul tells us. The scriptures of the latter days tells us that when Joseph F. Smith saw the spirit world, he saw Adam, and beside Adam he saw Eve. And Eve was described as our glorious mother Eve. And there are many others that were described in glorious ways, the daughters of God. But I'm struck by the fact that Eve was a helpmeet for Adam. She was a companion that was worthy. She was a very spiritually mature woman. Like Adam was a spiritually mature man, she was devoted to the cause of truth, the cause of righteousness. She was a woman who loved God. She was a woman who wanted to serve her children. She was a very faithful wife to Adam, and a very faithful mother, and a very faithful daughter of God. And there are many other examples that could be cited. If we think about the wives of our living apostles, our modern day prophets and apostles, these are women of faith, women of determination, women of goodness, women of virtue. And not just the wives of high profile leaders of the church, but many of the sisters throughout the world who are married and who are faithful and who want to do good, who want to sustain and support the family, who want to build families of righteousness and faith, who love and serve their families in righteous ways. And not just women who actually are married, but women who have been married, who are now widows, who love their husbands and have given them so much. And also women who would love to be married, who want to be married, who are seeking for the blessings of marriage. And as we know, the Lord has said that these sisters will be compensated in ways that are beyond what they can imagine. Now they will be blessed with all the blessings of the gospel to overflowing, far beyond what they may think. And so that desire to be married, that a woman has, a desire to belong and to love. And I'm just conscious of that. I'm impressed by those sisters who love and sustain marriage, who love the laws of the Lord, who are willing to give of themselves, to sacrifice their time, their talents, their comforts, their energy, their resources, to bless their husbands, to sustain their children, to serve the Lord, to serve in so many different ways in and outside of the home. And we should never forget that. That is a sacrifice, and it's a service that the Lord values highly. And the Lord is grateful for women, for sisters, and for wives. And it's not something that the world sometimes values very highly. But the Lord has a different way of measuring. He values those sisters he values everyone obviously, but he values when sisters love God, when they love the plan, when they love the work of salvation. How grateful I am for wives and mothers, for my own wife who serves and serves and serves, and for so many other wives, and those who want to be wives, and those who were wives, and still are in the eternal scheme of the Lord, but for the moment might be separated from their husbands for a season. A wife has such a huge impact on her husband, a huge impact on the children, such a huge impact on the church and on the world, and on the very nature of eternity itself. The very scope of eternity is hugely impacted by women in a way that we can't describe, and in a way that I honor and admire and respect. And I say, God praise them, God bless them, and we're so thankful. I'm so thankful for the great wives of all dispensations, especially those who seek to love the Lord and love their husbands and love their children. How blessed they are in time and in eternity for their magnanimous love, for their service, for their devotion.